What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Field Vision with Coach Clinton. I'm your host, Bryan Clinton, contributor over at OUinsider.com. And today we are doing a rewatch of the OU BYU game up in Provo this weekend. But I'm not alone. I've got a co-host today. Parker Thune is on with me. Parker, how you doing?
Fantastic, man. Really excited for this.
Yeah,
Love the insight
I'm
that you have brought to OU Insider with your eye for film, your eye for the game, your acumen. And yeah, man, excited to watch you drive the bus on this thing. I'm just kind of along for the ride. So let's dive in.
Well, keep your hands handy. I'm going to do my best to keep this thing on the road. So we're going to be super laid back on this. Just going to watch the game back, what we saw, and pick up some things here along the way, and we'll just see how this thing goes. So let's add the game in here. All right. So very first thing I want to say about this game was absolutely gorgeous venue, gorgeous setup. Haven't been to a game that had the kind of feel that this one had. It was truly once in a lifetime. Parker, you kind of can probably speak to that a little bit as well. Just an absolutely gorgeous setting for a college football game.
Yeah, no question about it. The field conditions, as they're actually highlighting on the broadcast right now, they were not great.
Yep.
Turf was a little chewed up. I mean, that's to be expected, especially being up in the mountains. It's rainy and cold. It's November. But that was kind of the one beef that everybody had with this game. As far as the venue, though, man, Lavelle Edwards Stadium is an awesome place to watch college football, and it lived up to the billing.
Well, and as you just pointed out and the broadcast was pointing out, very first play here, you got an obvious situation where they're trying to get Jalil Farouk the ball, and watch when he makes his break here at 10 yards. He slips and falls just like he was on a sheet of ice. So these are things that you see watching the game back. That's obviously a route that you've got to feel good about Farouk. Getting some separation on if he can keep his footing, but it obviously slows things down there, and you are behind the chains now, 2nd and 10. So,
and that's one of those moments, Brian, where I think it truly came into focus for all of us that, okay, Oklahoma has certain players on this roster that are going to benefit from these types of conditions. You got to go,
correct.
Size travels, right?
Yes.
And so that's why I think you saw a lot more snaps than usual out of Jaden Gibson. The Sooners were looking his way early in offense. Same can be said of Nick Anderson.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you saw some guys along the offensive line. One of the people that was pointed out post-game, Brent Venables, was Caden Green had a really good day, and obviously that's one of your more sizable guys on the roster. That mass certainly helped whenever it came to fighting in the trenches here. So we've got 3rd and 13 on the first drive. Oklahoma behind the chains already, and if I remember correctly, I think they go to Stoops here over the middle of the field. Yes. So Stoops is again, the guy that just kind of shows up in the big moment. He finds space here, works over on this kind of delayed drag route and comes open there, gets the first down. Can't say enough about this guy this year. It just seems like every time Oklahoma needs a play, he finds a way to create some space and make that play.
And there's something to be said, Brian, for a wide receiver that just knows how to find pockets in the defense, and Drake Stoops is so good at that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and that football IQ has really showed up for him this year. So good stuff on Drake there. We saw a vertical overthrown there by Gabriel, again setting yourself up. 2nd and 10. 2nd and long was a trend in this game for Oklahoma. It was as well for BYU. But Oklahoma on early downs, just whether it be guys slipping and falling or things just getting off kilter, they found themselves behind the chains a lot. But we're able to work out of that just enough to get some points on the board here. So again, we got 3rd and 8, obvious passing situation for the Sooners here, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I think this is another. Let's watch here and see what happens. Decent time. Yep. And so, again, I think this is another example. We've got Nick Anderson down here at the bottom of the screen. He's running something of a chain route, it looks like, trying to get the first down, and another trend in this game. It was extremely physical between defensive backs and wide receivers. There wasn't a whole lot called either way. Maybe just a product of the kind of environment you have with the field being in such bad shape. So saw a lot of contact out there and not many calls on Saturday.
Yeah, well, and nasty game. I think the referees, and I like it when the referees let them play a little bit more than usual, and we certainly saw that.
Here's a guy that has become a special teams weapon for Oklahoma. Punting was an issue at the beginning of the year, but look at this. We see him BYU fields this inside the 10-yard line. True field flipper here from Luke Elzinga, and he's been great for Oklahoma over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. It's all the more jarring week after week that Josh Plaster not only started the season as this team's punter, but held on to that job for 6 entire games, because Luke Elzinga has been so much better. I mean, night and day better than the effort that the Sooners got from their punter earlier in the season when Josh Plaster held that distinction of being the guy that walked back there with the punting unit to boot the ball away.
Here we're going to look at the first of many misfits for Oklahoma. Parker, I'm gonna start and pause this quite often here. So you're going to get something of a counter concept. They're going to use 42, who was in motion, and then 99 here backing on the blocking on the backside. And it looks a little bit like counter. They end up cutting this up for something of a zone. And look at the confusion here in the fits. So you see who do we have up there? We see Kip Lewis come immediately. He's coming on the blitz. Danny fills over the top, and we see one here. We see Desan McCullough cut underneath this, and it leaves a void in the middle of the field. I mean, you could quite literally drive a truck through that. And this is, again, we saw bad fits throughout the game, and this is one where Aiden Robbins takes it for a big game.
Yeah, not getting off to a good start there. That kind of set the tone for the day on the ground for BYU. And there were several, as we'll see, several egregious examples of them just leaving the middle of the field wide open for the Cougars to exploit on the ground.
Yeah, that right there, that's exactly how you draw it up if you're the BYU offensive coordinator. So that was a rough start for the Sooners here. Let's go here. 1st and 10. Danny kind of gets bullied on this play, unfortunately. Tough. I mean, my goodness, not eating for 2 days and then having to go out there and fight the big guys like this. That's not easy. Isaiah Coe does a good job here coming down and keeping this from getting to be any bigger of a play than it was. But again, BYU 1st and 10, they're getting 6 on a run play. So not great for the Sooners defense. And this was not something that I expected whatsoever. I mean, BYU's offense had not been very, very productive running the football, and they found a lot of success on this day. So I think obviously there's a lot of going back to square one on the run fits this week, I would imagine, in practice.
Yeah, and this play, Ethan Downs does a great job of helping to blow this play up right here. It looks like BYU was kind of trying to take advantage of the Sooners' aggression defensively. You run up the middle on your first couple plays. I think they were counting on the Sooners maybe selling out against the run on that snap. You get the ball to a perimeter, get it in the hands of one of your best playmakers in Chase Roberts, and see what can happen. But the pass from Retzloff, a little bit off target, didn't do a great job of leading Roberts. And, I mean, Ethan Downs is right there, and he's got Roberts dead to rights even if he does catch that ball.
Yeah, good play there. As you pointed out, really good patience from Downs. And now you've got 3rd and 5 here. So Sooners showing pressure, and I believe, so they're only bringing 3. This is something that Oklahoma has struggled with this season. When Oklahoma brings 3 and drops 8 into coverage, they've been below average. I mean, there's just, whether it's just a lack of pressure or just the ability, things coming open over the middle of the field. I don't expect there to be a ton of 3-man pressure against TCU. I think Oklahoma's going to be a little more aggressive than that, considering how well Josh Hoover has looked throwing the football, or how good he's looked throwing the football over the last few weeks. I believe Brent Venables said not only has he gone over 300 yards in 3 consecutive games, but over 400 in 2 games. So this right here, definitely, this was a first down all the way if Epps can hold on to it and just slips right through his hands. So,
well, when you rush 3 and you drop 8, you got to have guys in the back end of your secondary that are good man defenders. And the Sooners have one guy, right? Well, 2 guys. Woody Washington and Billy Bowman can hold their own in that department. Robert Spears-Jennings, whom they picked on that play, more of a hitter than a man-up type of guy. And then obviously opposite Woody, the cornerback situation is kind of a wreck in the absence of Gentry Williams.
Yeah, and the Sooners need to get him back and quickly. Got a lot of youth, a lot of really, really talented guys behind those 2. But yeah, you really need to get Gentry back as early as possible here. So Oklahoma gets the ball back. You saw Freeman do a good job of fielding the punt there. And Dylan Gabriel's got all the time in the world here. And things just right off the gate aren't great, but look who's open once again. Look who finds a way to work into space and make something out of nothing.
Yeah, it was really the only place to go there with the ball. BYU did a great job locking down on pretty much everybody else. It was Drake Stoops or bust.
Oh, here we go. We've got struggles on the road once again from the offensive line. It's been peculiar how often that's happened on the road. I know that this team, I know that this team goes off of a clap count with Dylan Gabriel, but it just seems like this is really late in the season to be having the same issues up front. I know that Caden Green's a young guy, but at this point in time, he's had a lot of go. So to see 2nd and 3 turn into 2nd and 8 is obviously frustrating. Good throw here by Gabriel, drives the ball well, and you kind of see if you watch Farouk here up top, he kind of bends the route a little more than you would like to see typically, but given the circumstances of the field, it's what you had to do. It's absolutely what you have to do to make that work, and so they're able to convert here and get themselves out of a bad situation, set up 1st and 10. Good stuff from both Gabriel
and again, you saw him slip on the very first play of the game, so you'd imagine he, more so than anybody else, understood what he was working with in terms of what was underneath his feet, adjusted, and was able to move the chains there.
Yeah, good stuff from him. All right, so we've got zone here. You've got everybody moving in symmetry, as we've talked about in previous games, or excuse me, in previous videos. This is split zone, so you've got Drake Stoops coming here to block backside. There is nobody, so he just moves on to the next level. Everybody's zone blocking there to the right, and Gavin Sawchuk. This guy absolutely has become RB1 in Norman, and this is why. These are the kind of plays that you just didn't see from him early on. Good cut there. To extend the play, get a few more yards out of it, and again, very, very, very physical running from 27, and this was something that continued throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, he hits that hole with some desire, doesn't he? Not just on this play, but every single time he touches the ball. And Sooners just did a great job up front getting hats on hats here and creating some space for him.
Another example from this play I want to point out is 76. This is good. This is really good stuff from a guy who, again, he hasn't been doing this long, but to get out in space and hook up with 31 there, there's not a lot of guys that I would say could come in to an offense and keep Tyler Guyton on the sidelines at any point in time. But what Jake Sexton is growing into for Oklahoma is very, very exciting. So good stuff from him on that play. All right. First big play of the game for either team. You've got Jaden Gibson, the big lanky guy out of Florida, and he uses that. He looks so fast in this game, whether it's just those strides on that grass or what. But he was really effective downfield in a couple of plays, and this was a huge one, obviously.
He covers a ton of ground with those long strides, doesn't he? And if Dylan Gabriel leads him a little bit more here, that goes for 6. As it is, it's 55 yards all the way down to the 2 line. You'll take that any day of the week. And again, you talk about poor field conditions, a day where that's going to affect what you're able to do both on the ground and through the air. You got to find mismatches with guys who are just naturally bigger and stronger and faster, and Jaden Gibson is certainly one of those guys.
All right, 1st and goal here. We see BYU, who was aggressive as they have been all season long. We see them; they're selling out for the run here, and they do a good job keeping Gavin Sawchuk from making anything happen here. They get 2 guys on Sawchuk, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they end up making this a loss of 1. I believe we see another run play here, and then Oklahoma ends up hitting Nick Anderson, I believe, for the first score of the game. So let's take a look at that. Well, hold on here. Let's look who's being chippy again. We've got some guys in Gabriel's face, and he's showing a little bit of emotion, which again I'm all here for it. I love seeing this out of the guy out of 8 who's leading his team and being the guy to get out there. One of the things I heard from fans early on in the year was just that he wasn't that guy to show emotion, and that's certainly not the case anymore. All right, here we go. We've got a great concept here from Jeff Lebby. So you're going to bring motion inside, and then it's kind of a pseudo slant. So you're gonna attack the center of the field and force the safeties and or the corner that are one-on-one, and he just can't keep up with Anderson.
That's a matchup Nick Anderson is winning. If he is man on man right there, which is exactly what Jeff Lebby schemed it for and exactly what ended up happening, he's making that play 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, good stuff there from 4. He's become an absolute game changer for the Sooners here as of late. So, oh man, we see some more chippiness here from Gabriel.
Man, I thought real time. I thought he flopped, but watching that back,
too.
He did get whacked, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a lot more. There's a lot more to that than I thought there was. I thought it was LeBron James flop, but you're absolutely right. It was not. He got hit a little bit there. So, all right, we see Zach Schmidt make one. Too bad he couldn't have done that later in the game, but we'll mess with that later on. Let's see what BYU does as they get the ball back here. And we've got another situation. BYU's got numbers in the running game, and Stutzman is a bit too aggressive at the mesh point. He goes running back. Retzloff keeps it just long enough, and the read option, which again was something that Oklahoma struggled with all game. It produces 12 here on this play for the Cougars.
Yeah, well, and as fast as Stutzman is flying in, if he's going to make the decision to break down and try and contain, he's got to do it, split second.
Yes.
And it almost made more sense just to sell out, guess, hope you guessed right, and count on your teammates to have your back if you didn't. And so, he sold out. It was a good pull by Retzloff. He saw Stutzman come flying in, obviously was able to pull the ball and rush for a first down on that play. So,
and they did
once you get past Stutzman, there's a lot of space, so not a whole lot you can do right there.
Right. And they did a really good job in this game. It almost seemed as if Oklahoma had maybe prepared for a little more in the throwing game with Keaton Slovis potentially back. But Retzloff was really good in the read game and in the option game. Just enough hesitation to keep Oklahoma's defenders guessing most of the game, and it carried throughout the first half for sure. All right, so we see Retzloff here. You've got an opportunity to get Robbins one-on-one there with Kendall Dolby, but he can't complete it. 3rd and 3, and this, I believe, is the drive. I think BYU actually evens it up here 7-7, so let's see what they do on this. We saw this a couple of times. This is I like to call this new school triple option because it's the same concept. It's the exact same thing, but it's obviously wider there and more of a pass. And Epps is a guy that you want to get in open space. I mean, he is an athlete, one of their best guys with the ball in his hands, and he takes 3rd and 3 and gets a big chunk out of it.
Yeah, this is a new design that has become a staple in a lot of offenses across the country. We've seen Oklahoma use it on occasion, but BYU is able to utilize that new school triple option, as you termed it, to pick up first down and move the chains there.
All right, so we are in Oklahoma territory now, positive 43-yard line, and we're going to get a yes, so we are going to get a scramble here. I remember this one. This was longest fall of the game. He fell for 10 yards. Good pick up here by Retzloff. He's able to make something out of nothing. You would like you'd like Kanik to get him on the ground there. It's still a good effort, obviously. But this was just one of those things where it seemed from time to time that it was BYU's day, and that was kind of
not the greatest angle from Kanik there. That could have been sharpened up a little bit.
All right, more physical running here from Robbins. Oklahoma's able to limit it to 2 yards. We got 2nd and 8. And again, look, we've got it's the same concept here. You've got orbit motion from 0, and we've got triple option once again. You've got more space this time to work with, but good on Billy Bowman here to cover some ground, shows his speed, and right now, look at all of this space he's got to work with. But Bowman being able to get out there in the flats, and you have who is that? You've got Pearson working up. They do a good job keeping Epps from making that an even bigger play.
Only thing you don't love is nobody accounted for Epps right off the bat.
Correct.
So whether it was miscommunication or whatever the case may be, I mean, if you don't have some very capable players in your secondary and Pearson and Bowman who can close in a hurry, I mean, that may go for 6.
Yeah, that could have been a much bigger play. So we've got this comes back on holding, I believe, here on, so it's on, they've got Woody Washington viced up here, and he's not letting him go. So you got holding, that goes back. But with it being spot foul, they charge it 10 yards from the spot of the foul. You got 2nd and 6 now. And let's see. So speed option, kind of once again. My goodness, the field, it made such an impact on this game all game long. Here's that hesitation I talk about from Retzloff. He does just enough, knows that Robbins is going to be able to outrun downs there to the edge, and does it. But man, that field.
A bit of a stutter step there from Robbins. It was almost like they wanted to fake the zone read and then kick it outside.
Mm-hmm.
Unique little wrinkle to that concept there from BYU. And again, that's one of those plays where maybe it goes for 6 if he doesn't slip, because look at this. With as much room as he's got right there on the sideline, a hat on Woody Washington, he makes Kobe McKenzie there. He makes Kobe McKenzie miss on the boundary. That may end up going the distance.
All right, so we got 3rd and 1 right outside the red zone here. So we see, let's see. All right, so we've got some pre-snap adjustment here. You flip the strength. You've got the running back opposite side, and here's that same kind of. They want it to look like counter here. They're faking 5. They're faking the direct handoff to 5 here and running just a zone play on the inside. Oklahoma does a good job here, stops them and forces 4th and 1. Again, we're talking about the field. It was truly terrible. I did hear from somebody that they actually during this game had somebody at the game watching it and seeing how the field was impacting the game, and I do think BYU plans to do something about this, rip it all up and be done with it, which obviously something like that needed to happen. So after the year, I don't think BYU is going to be having issues like this anymore. All right, 4th and 1. What do? You get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Roberts just comes wide open here. If you notice, look who the matchup's on. You've got Deshaun McCullough, who his strength is not is not going to be covering guys in open space. You want him ideally in the run fits, and they work it out to get him kind of one-on-one there with one-on-one with Roberts and Kanai Walker. He can't do enough to help there and keep them from getting in the end zone. It's 6 points.
Yeah, Kanai's got nowhere to go. I mean, whatever decision he makes there is the wrong one, because if he backpedals and tries to account for Roberts, Retzloff's just hitting the flat and they're moving the chains. And if he crashes on the flat, it's going to Roberts, who's one-on-one out there with Hassan McCullough. And Roberts is winning that matchup. That's a mismatch.
Yep, that is that's just excellent. That's an excellent play call from the offensive coordinator. The chess match, which Parker, you obviously enjoy that reference, being someone who likes to play chess. That's just part of the game. It's a game inside the game that a lot of times fans don't really get to see. This is just part of going back and forth and using strengths and weaknesses, and this is just a really good play here from BYU's offensive coordinator. All right, we got 1st and 10. Oklahoma back in control, and let's see what they do here. So we've got like a short dig here, and again, this isn't a screen, but it's the same concept. You want your guy out there in open space, one-on-one, and allow him to work vertically. Obviously, we've seen Jalil Farouk line up in the backfield. We know what kind of threat he is with the ball in his hands, and so this is a good play here. Got to hold on to the football. Lucky this wasn't a fumble, but good stuff from Farouk on that route.
And the goal that jet motion that you saw is to clear out that right side of the field to give Farouk a true one-on-one, which they got. Good look, gets you 9 yards.
Good stuff there. Oh man! All right, this is, and I pointed this out in the previous video going in. Look at how many guys are inside the box here for BYU. So you've got 3 linemen, 3 defensive linemen, 4 if you count your edge man here, 2 backers up, safety up, and then you've got your corner looking inside. He's inside of Stoops. If you can make this corner here miss, it is green grass for forever. Now they do get what they want out of this with the one-on-one, and there's a safety in the back there, but still, this is something you wish you could see him maybe work out of that, but a really good effort from Zero to come up and make that tackle.
Yeah, well, and that's a play to move the chains right there. You're not trying to do anything save for get enough yards to get your offense a fresh set of downs. That's exactly what Oklahoma does. Nothing sexy, nothing spicy, but it works.
That is something that we've seen the last couple of weeks. That's really good change from the offense. So you've got incompletion here, makes it 2nd and 10, and Gabriel's going to keep this. I want to say, so this is certainly designed for Gabriel to keep here. You can just tell with how Sawchuk and 12 pull up here. So good stuff for him to get some yardage. This game was a lot chippier than I thought it was. Just lots of stuff going on between the offensive and defensive line. So set you up 3rd and 6. This was one of 2 almost catches from Drake Stoops that you got to tip your cap to the guy just for getting as close as he was to making these plays. I mean, that right there, that is incredibly difficult to. Oh man, that's a great effort from 12. Unfortunately, didn't count, but I think we'll get a better look at it here.
Yep, selling out.
Oh man,
he's an inch taller. He's making that catch.
Correct. Yep, excellent effort from 12 there. Oh man, here we go.
If only.
Hey, if anything else, if you've got to go to your 3rd string quarterback, Luke Elzinga has to be the guy that gets the nod there. Look at the touch on this pass. Just gorgeous.
Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw, and great little Great little route by Ethan Downs, who played a lot of tight end in high school. Well, he played a lot of everything in high school, but had several Power 5 offers as a tight end. So you want to drop a trick play for somebody, draw it up to the guy that could have played offense at the next level, but chose to be a defensive end at Oklahoma instead.
Oh, he's been waiting for that play. He's been absolutely waiting for that play, and it's a shame that this one gets called back. But you see Oklahoma get forced to punt here after what I think is just a horrible call. But again, it is what it is. So was this a holding call, or was this actually no? This was OPI, wasn't it?
Yes, it was OPI.
This was OPI. Okay, so this was the right call then. I thought I remember that being a holding call, but so we see Oklahoma punt here after a couple more penalties, and this is the Luke Elzinga play. So absolute bomb, and then we've got an oh crap moment where anytime the punter is having to make the tackle, it's not a good situation, but good form tackle here, really good from Luke Elzinga. Saved a touchdown on that one. Got to give him his flowers, Parker.
Yeah, I mean, he completes a pass, he bombs a 55-yard punt, and then he saves a touchdown on the return. Love to see that from your punter. All-around athlete.
All right, BYU has the ball back here, and what do? They put it on the field, and Bothroyd loves a free gift a week before Thanksgiving here, and he will take it. That is excellent awareness from 80, being in the right place at the right time. And this was one of 3 really costly turnovers for Retzlaff. As good as he was on the day and keeping BYU in this, the turnovers were 100% the reason why Oklahoma was able to escape in this game. And that one, none bigger than that one right there.
Yeah, great play by Bothroyd, too. I mean, especially when the field is that hazardous. Don't try to do anything with it. Just get on top of it, set your offense up with a very short field, and that's what he does.
Yeah, good stuff there. Anything or any time that you want to hop ahead here, Parker, you just let me know if there's any plays you'd like to hop ahead to. We will just kind of move along here at a good pace. We've got first play here of the second quarter.
Look at that push up front.
Yeah, excellent job by the offensive line. Good stuff. And again, the field has a little bit of play here on what Gavin Sawchuk's able to do, but somebody that has really gotten better as the season's gone along is Austin Stogner and how he works into the run fit as far as a blocker. This is another good showing from him, and they kind of insert him in as a lead and does a good job. So Sawchuk ends up picking up picking up 3 on 2nd and 4 and sets you up with 3rd and 1. Tawi Walker's in, got the big guns in for this one, and he's able to move forward here. It's pretty obvious at this point that he's still not 100%.
But this was one of 2, maybe 3 carries on the day.
Yeah.
We did not see much of Tawi Walker, but able to do what he came in to do there and set the Sooners up with a fresh set of downs. Oh, we got Dylan Gabriel on the run.
Nice little baseball slide here. Good stuff. Yeah, that's sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you. That was one of those things, one of those chances, and Gabriel's been a lot better about that this season. Here we go. Here's another. We've got zone insert, and so you're just going to insert the tight end into the run fit and allow Sawchuk, or I guess this is Walker here, to work off of that. My goodness, look at the physical running. Oh man, he is just hard to tackle.
That's one thing that guy's going to do is he's always going to fall forward.
All right, so you get a matchup down here. Jeff Levy being matchup based. We've got 1-on-1 with Jalil Farouk, and just not able to get on the same page there.
Yeah, don't mind taking that shot.
Nope, that's a great call. I agree.
Yeah, probably worth it on first down. You know, you got 2 more in your pocket to work with.
Absolute strike. This ball right here may not have gotten enough credit. I don't think Gabriel got enough credit for this play. That's really good stuff. And the offensive line. Let's stop on this one for a second. We can focus on this play for a bit. So, the offensive line does a great job picking up the blitz here. You've got 2 guys in the A gap coming. Something that's been a point of contention, or at least earlier in the season, was Gavin Sawchuk's ability to pick up the blitz. He does an excellent job of taking the handoff here from Caden Green and picking up this blitzing linebacker. That is exactly what you want to see from your running back, and he does a great job with that and allows Gabriel the time he needs to survey downfield, work out of the pocket, and then deliver to Jaden Gibson here. Awesome stuff from everybody involved.
And a really nice play from Jaden Gibson there in the back of the end zone. You know, you talked about the throw. Cross your body, downfield on a dime. I mean, that's a 35-yard throw right there. Maybe a 40-yard throw from Gabriel. And he puts it exactly where it needs to be. But Gibson, you know, it's all too easy to land on 2 feet simultaneously. And if Gibson does that there, it's not a catch. But great job to make sure, boom, that foot right there is down before the other one is.
Good stuff.
And it's down in the end zone, and that's a touchdown all the way.
And he got to turn around and look at the mountains after he scored, which he talked about post-game. Absolutely loved the setting. We wrote about that on OU Insider. His post-game interview talking about the setting was great. And so make sure you're going and checking that out. Gibson, this was the best game Gibson's had all season long, and he continues just to show up in big moments and is a guy that you get really excited about when you're thinking about the future at wide receiver. He is definitely one of the guys that you're excited about along there with Nick Anderson. All right, good stuff from Oklahoma here on 1st and 10. You see Danny's coming pre-snap. They're all about sending pressure on this one, and it's good fits from the defensive line. I thought it was interesting at the press conference that Brent Venables made sure and let people know that the defensive line did not get bullied maybe the way that he felt some people were saying, and that the issues were more so at the linebacker position than they were at the defensive line, and I thought it was interesting that he made sure and let everybody know that was the case. Say again?
I said we get an option here.
Yes.
This is where BYU really started to find their niche in the run game. They found the weakness, the vulnerability, something the Sooners weren't accustomed to seeing, and they just kept going back to the well for the remainder of this game.
Parker, did this feel like a situation where maybe this was something that BYU kind of stumbled into? Maybe it was maybe less part of the game plan until they realized, oh, this is something that works? Or do you think that they saw something in the Oklahoma defense that was something they thought they could attack coming into the game?
I mean, when you have a team that has, to this point in the season, been so inept at running the ball, going up against a defense that has been pretty good against the run, yes, I very much think this was something BYU stumbled into. I don't think they came into the game going, man, we're going to pound the rock, we're going to leverage the option, and we're going to rush for 200-plus yards against this team.
Well, that is exactly what they did, and it was just something that you didn't really expect, but those are the kinds of games that good teams are going to have to find a way to win, and Oklahoma did do that, but it was not easy. Retzloff made it difficult on them, and they made big play after big play, but it was really Oklahoma forcing turnovers, as we said earlier, that made the difference here. This was the best pass of the day from Retzloff.
And a great catch by Chase Roberts, too. I mean, you get him one-on-one on the outside against a freshman and a bit of an undersized freshman at that, and Josiah Wagner. That's a matchup that you feel good about your chances with. Retzloff delivered it on target. Roberts made a great adjustment on the ball. I mean, that's next level stuff right there.
Yeah,
And
that is not easy. That is an NFL catch right there. That is, you don't see that on every roster in the country. That was good stuff. So sets them up deep in Oklahoma territory. We've got read option again here, and it's another style of their kind of triple option look that they used. I remember seeing this play and this tackle and thinking that this was one of those just routine plays that may not make it in the highlight, but then the tackle, just the way that he landed it, was kind of an interesting one there from Key Lawrence again. So we've got 2nd and 3 now after picking up 7 on first down, and BYU is driving. They've taken 4 minutes off the clock here after Oklahoma's score, and going to do their best to answer. They get 20 out here in space, and he comes up just short, but sets him up 1st and goal. Let's kind of run through this here. The late substitution that plays in Oklahoma's favor. For once, we've seen Oklahoma have a lot of opponents doing this. This is gamesmanship. This is exactly what you see from coaches who are trying. Anytime the offense, folks, anytime the offense has an opportunity to change out its personnel, the defense is then afforded the same opportunity. And so this is a situation where even if you like who you've got in there, if the clock's running low, you send somebody out there because the offense is not allowed to snap the ball, and it allows a situation here where BYU is forced to use a timeout on 2nd goal. Good stuff from the coaching staff here playing the chess game. All right. All right, look. Pre-snap motion. We've seen a lot of that since the Kansas game.
All 5
lot of changing of formations here. This was just a good. This was a good play call, play design from the offensive coordinator. OU's secondary is out of sorts, still trying to get lined up here when the snap comes. Lots of eye candy. You've got 4-on-3 down here, but really what BYU wanted from the get-go was the tight end 1-on-1 up here up top. You get your big target, and Retzloff is just going to turn and throw to him. And this is just kind of one of those plays where you let the tight end make separation off the line of scrimmage, and he makes a good job. Credit to him making a good catch there when the ball was low. So good stuff from BYU there.
That's a good football player right there. Isaac Rex, I mean, he served a mission, so he's 24 years old. He was a freshman All-American in 2020. That's a grown man, and he made a grown man play right there.
All right, BYU ties it up 14-14. And let's go here to the next drive for Oklahoma. All right, so here's one of Tawi Walker's, one of his few rushes on the play. Again, look at how many tackles this guy breaks. I mean, you're not going to get him down with an arm tackle. You've got 3 guys trying to make a tackle at the same time here. 3 guys right here, and Tawi Walker is able to work through it and turn that into a 10-yard gain. Good stuff from him. Gabriel uncorked this one, and I remember them calling this. They called this PI on 19. BYU fans didn't like the call, but this was certainly something where
is that Mo Bamba?
Yeah, Mo. Yeah. Good one. Got me on that one. Got me. So anyways, Nick Anderson draws the PI, sets Oklahoma up 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Man,
Drake freaking Stoops, man.
This guy just makes play after play.
That's a competitive catch.
All right, so he moves the change. You're now inside the 40, set up on the 38-yard line. This was one of the few times where I felt like BYU just did an excellent job in coverage, you could get the ball here to 1. I think this might be a situation where there's so much going on in front of Dillon Gabriel. Given his height, he's just not able to see Gibson until it's probably too late, and BYU's able to get home.
Yeah, Sexton kind of gets bullied there on the edge. 93 isn't the one that comes up with the sack, but he does flush Gabriel with that pressure. And by the time they close on him, yeah, I mean, again, you can go to 1 there, but that is one of those plays where Dillon Gabriel's height kind of limits him.
Just want to point out here, Tyler Batty is at number 92 here. He's going to be up here at the top of the screen. He is going to draw the unfortunate job of working on Caden Green in this play, and Green does not let him within 7 yards of Dillon Gabriel here. Good job
Holy
from the
smokes,
freshman.
Man. 4 guys got pushed backwards. 1 dude held his ground, and it was the true freshman.
Really good stuff there from the freshman. God, he's gonna be a manimal, as Brent Venable said earlier in the week. Yeah, he's something else. That guy, he's put together now. So that was a huge play on this drive. Oklahoma's now in 2nd and 19. Really would have liked them to get more out of this drive. They do work down into deeper into territory here, but if I remember correctly, this one ends up being a field goal. Look who's making plays again. Look who makes plays yet again. It is Drake Stoops. This guy, I mean, goodness. When you need a play, 12 comes open. It's been that way all season long, and it's that way again here. You can't say enough about the guy.
Well, and he's developed such a rapport with Dillon Gabriel, too, that it's not almost like, I mean, Gabriel is looking for him, especially in those gotta-have-it situations. And Stoops is one of those guys, again, that you can just count on to get open by hook or by crook. And he does on that play, and it's a big conversion.
All right, here we go. We got Stoops in the backfield lineup as a running back in this play. And we've got kind of a, let's see here what we do up at the top of the screen. So we've got an outside run play of some sort. I'm not really even sure what you would call this. Maybe a sweep with Stogner leading out there and 27 leading out there. Just good pursuit from BYU on this play. 5 makes the play from the backside. You just kind of tip your cap to him there, and maybe that is again the grass being a little bit more of a factor than it needs to be. But
yeah, you can't really tell from that angle, but Drake Stoops did definitely slip here. From where we were in the end zone, it was pretty clear he lost his footing. I mean, if he angles that thing to the sideline, it's maybe a yard or 2, but there's not much there regardless.
Yeah, just good stuff from BYU on that end. So you got 3rd and 9 here. And BYU is going to call a timeout and set up Oklahoma. Here, 3rd and 9, they're going to hit Stogner. This was what I felt was a big play. Thought Oklahoma was really going to be able to capitalize after making a huge play here. Stogner coming open over the last couple of weeks. That's a trend in the passing game that's become something Oklahoma can use in situations like this. And
kind of
and he sets up Oklahoma 1st and goal.
Kind of a unique route there. Stogner looked like he was running to the post and broke it off and ran back towards the marker. Gabriel hit him right there, and it moves the chains once again.
I'm curious. I kind of almost thrown out any kind of route in this game because I think it's just run out there, don't slip, and see if you can find somewhere to work. You know, it was just that bad. Which I didn't say anything to you about this because I wanted to save myself the embarrassment. But coming off the field at halftime, I was maybe an inch away from the splits, and it was just by walking on the corner of the field there where it turns from grass into AstroTurf. I can't imagine trying to actually run full speed out there with everything that's going on, but
this is where Gabriel gets hurt right here.
Yes, it is.
Yep, you can see that head whip back.
Yep. If this was, I will say, with as soft as the ground was, if this was maybe back home in Norman where it's a little harder, or maybe even on turf, there might not even be a conversation of whether or not Gabriel is able to go, whether or not he's able to go on Friday. It may just be, and again, we don't know what the actual outcome of that's going to be. I think you and I are probably under the same assumption, with it being 6 days between his injury and the next time they see the field. I think it's probably safe to assume that we're going to see Jackson Arnold, and be pleasantly surprised if Gabriel is the guy that goes. Just a little too much on this one.
I didn't realize how close that one was.
Yeah, and this is, I want to give Nick Anderson, I want to give him credit here to lay out knowing that you're about to take a shot. That's a team play. That's somebody playing for something bigger than themselves, because that
he's going to be so good, man.
Do what now?
I said he's going to be so
he
good.
Is.
He already is, but he's going to be even better.
Okay, 23-yard chip shot, and this one is good. 17. So we're gonna skip ahead here. 17-17 is going to be the score here at halftime. We'll just kind of run through these quickly. BYU is able to work down into Oklahoma territory, and oh man, I do want to watch this one again, because I believe there's a few people that slip on this play. So there's one
motion guy falls.
Yeah, just a mess of a play. All right, read option again. Retzlaff. Hold on. This is part of not listening to it with any audio. We've got the play blown dead here. That's right. They're checking to see if that was a fumble.
They end up moving it back.
Yep. Or a backwards pass, excuse me, not a fumble. All right, so 3rd and 19. They get a few. They're obviously playing for the field goal here. They like who they've got, and Farron's able to boot it through, make it 17 all at halftime. Go in 0-0, essentially. So, all right, second half. I remember BYU coming out and setting the tone with the running game again here, and it was apparent that they knew at this point. Oh man, that looks good.
Cougar tail.
Regrettably, did not get to try one of those, but it's a maple donut. It's a maple donut, so it'll be okay. All right, 2nd and 3 here. And they're going to hand the ball off to Robbins again. Just too much space in the running game here from Oklahoma's defense. And he's able to run through some arm tackles. Makes that another big play. I will say, it does seem that Oklahoma did fit things a little better in the second half. There was still some running space, but it was played better by the Oklahoma defense. This was this was a game, or this was a point in the game where, if I'm Retzlaff, this is a guy playing JUCO football in the past. This is exactly what I would have done. I don't know that I feel very confident with 28 bearing down on me without somebody getting a hand on him there. That's just great job shooting the gap by Stutzman.
Yeah, great. Again, we talk about, and Brent Venables discussed it in his press conference this week, the lack of sacks for Oklahoma. And the lack of sacks itself isn't really indicative of the way that this team has pressured the quarterback. That's a perfect example right there of a play that should be a sack. It's just a really high IQ, high awareness play by Retzlaff to know that he's got his back there and to be able to basically flick it and dump it off and avoid the sack. A lot of quarterbacks are just getting swallowed up by Stutzman there. They're just kind of resigning to their fate.
Well, and see, on the very next play here, again, pressure and I mean, it almost gets home. This epitomizes the Oklahoma defense this year. You have seen, and Venables talked about it, just how quickly Oklahoma's opponents are getting rid of the football. And this is one of those instances where a lot of times this year, Kendall Dolby or whoever this is going to is ready for that ball, and that's why you've seen them. They've been top 3 in the country in interceptions pretty much all season long. And this is what you would this is a pressure interception if it ends up making the play. He's got to get rid of it now, and obviously it works out in Oklahoma's favor. They force the punt, but that is a good indication of where Oklahoma is actually excelling and getting to the quarterback. The numbers may not be there for sacks, but the interceptions, that's just not by happenstance. Over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten more and more nervous every time that Gavin Freeman has to field one of those. He does a good job clean right there, though.
Yeah, he's been reliable and consistent for the most part. That home game against West Virginia being the lone exception.
All right, so 10 is in the game here. We're going to start him off, try and get him warmed up by giving him something easy to work with. BYU is all over this swing pass. They're with it the entire way. And again, 5 who made the play on Stoops earlier in the second quarter. He's the guy that gets there to Sawchuk, and a good job getting him down in the open field. All right, so we're going to get him the ball again. 27 is going to get the handoff here. This is your very typical GT counter that Oklahoma has run for many years now, and BYU. I would actually, I'm going to take that back. BYU doesn't necessarily do a great job on this one. I think this is a situation where you see Gavin Sawchuk make a little bit of a mistake here. If he hugs 76 like he's supposed to on this play, this is a big gainer. If you'll look, there's a crease. It's hard to see from this angle. He goes too wide, and there's a crease there for him to make a play, but he goes a little bit too wide, and the end's able to slow him up, and the defense rallies to make a play. So just little things here and there that these guys will get coached up on. That's just that's one of those little nuances that you don't see first time through, but you catch it on the replay. Oh my gosh.
He can run a little bit, can he?
Parker.
He can run a little bit.
81 gets called on a block in the back on this play at the top of your screen, and I did not see this live, but this is the worst call. This is the worst. Okay, I'm not gonna. Again, that was not even a block. Play from. No,
he lost his footing.
Wow. Well, yes, 10 in open space is a guy that you have to account for in the running game. That guy, he is physical and he's got the wheels. That's somebody that you're going to see this in the future, definitely with him running the offense at some point.
That is hashtag Big 12 refs right there.
Correct. That is an awful call. Let's see if is there a zoomed in version of that. No, they're not going to show it because it was that bad. All right, let's move forward. We got 3rd and 6 now, and the only option that 10 sees here is Tawi Walker out in the flat. BYU rallies and makes a play on it and forces the punt. This was I kind of felt like this was a situation where maybe the freshman in the situation that he's been put in. BYU was loud. The fans were loud. This was not an easy situation to jump into. And you heard him talk about that post game. I think you just got a case of the jitters here from 10. if he waits just a little bit longer, he's got the strength to hit Stoops there.
Well,
and
and again, I think that just comes down to chemistry, because I'll tell you where 8's going
correct.
with that ball.
100%.
He's waiting until
yes.
right about now, and then he's flicking it across the middle to Drake Stoops. But
right.
again, Arnold just doesn't have that same rapport with Stoops, which is understandable. He's not as eager to wait it out and wait for Stoops to create that crease. He thinks Walker's got enough space to get the first down here, and he did have some space, just not quite enough.
All right, so we've got BYU's got possession of the ball here. We are not sponsored by Aflac. Please disregard that. We will move on here.
Oh, you're back at the beginning.
Oh, no. How did that happen? Oh, well, didn't do too bad of a job getting back to where we were at. Got lucky on that. They're just showing Dylan Gabriel going down there, and here's the first play. This is Deshaun McCullough getting to take his frustrations out on Retzlaff one time this game. That was excellent pressure from him. I don't know that we're going to get this was a play that I tweeted out. An excellent individual effort from both 1 and 5 on this play. Woody Washington to go through the receiver and play on the ball there. That's just a good play from Washington. That's not PI. I know Rex is going to do what he can to get the call there, but that's just Woody making a good play on the ball.
Yeah, the boos rained down at Lavelle Edwards Stadium after that no call, but it was a good no call because Woody played the ball. His eyes were on the ball the whole time. He's got a right to the ball just as much as Isaac Rex does. Really good coverage from a really seasoned cornerback.
If you're getting if you're getting the clap, if you're getting claps here from Coach Venables, you know you did it right. That was good stuff on his part. So we've got 3rd and 14. We're going to see a little bit of confusion here from the Oklahoma defense. This is not something that we've seen a lot of this year, but you've got guys still running around and out of sorts, and it doesn't matter. Look who comes up and makes the play on the ball. This is a guy that flew around all game long. That's Billy Bowman. He absolutely had a great game for the Sooners. A lot of times, and later on in this game, he is going to maybe go against what was called or make a play that he knows needs to be played. And this is one of those where he just comes up and it flies out of nowhere and makes a big play for Oklahoma, and they needed 2 on this day.
He's such a good football player, man. I mean, he had a great game Saturday, even if you subtract the pick 6 from the equation. Without that pick 6, Billy Bowman still played an awesome football game.
100% agree. All right, so they force a punt here. One of the few times that Freeman gets a little bit of space to work with, but still, BYU's got a lot of guys down there. They do a good job corralling him, and they get him down. Arnold back out here for the second drive of the game. And I think this is kind of the last, this drive is kind of the last one that you see him have a little bit of jitters. After this, it felt like he had a pretty good command of things once he got some of that worked out. So let's look here at his 2nd and 13. Just again, look at how, I mean, you and I both know how crisp of a route runner that Nick Anderson is, and this still is a good crisp route, but the strides that he's having to take to get those cleats to dig in and stop, it just changes everything. But good ball, man, it's a flick of the wrist. It looks so effortless, and it's got great velocity on it. So good play there. Sets him up at 3rd and manageable. It's the little plays like that you can't overlook with a guy playing, his first true meaningful football.
Ooh, that was just a miss.
Yep, he wants that one back.
Yeah, that should have been a 3rd down conversion. And I mean, maybe if it's a guy with a little bit more length, like Gavin Sawchuk that's in the backfield on that play, maybe that goes for the first down anyway. But even so, that is probably the one throw of the day that Jackson Arnold would love to have another shot at.
Yeah, that one there. And, you and I both know he makes that throw 9 times out of 10. So
Yeah.
he'll work back at that and he'll get that corrected. That's not something. Don't go to the boards, please. This is something he'll get that worked out. All right, BYU gets the ball back here. Oof, man. Okay, so 28. I don't know where his eyes are on this, and it's not like he's supposed to be bringing pressure from the go. His footwork doesn't say that. This is just a case of having dirty eyes and getting caught up in the read. You need him to flow over the top, and if not him, 21 has got to fill in behind him. That's just too many guys accounting for something other than their job. So credit BYU on the play call. That looks all that motion to one side with 8 and your tight end working out there, but this is a play where you've got to fit that a lot better. That's just bad fits, and BYU takes advantage of it.
Yep, and you got way too many guys stuck between the tackles, and once Robbins gets outside the tackles, he's got a lot of green. Billy Bowman, again.
Wow. Yep, 2, making plays. How 17 didn't get called here on a hold. I mean, guys, what do I need to do? This still frame, do we send this in? Is this Parker? What do you do on that? I guess you just kind of work and try to get off of that as much as you can. But
tweet at Brett Yormark with that screenshot.
Yeah, that right there. That, my friends, is holding. So we're going to move on though. Big play from Robbins sets him up in Oklahoma territory, and this felt like this was an drive. BYU was 100% well on their way to not just taking the lead, but really commanding this football game. At this point, it was kind of 50-50 back and forth, but in the second half, with Jackson Arnold being out there and a little shaken to this point, BYU was starting to get some of the momentum, and this drive was set up to be 6 for BYU, and they work right down the field. And then
here we go.
And the play of the game is Billy Bowman. Now, post-game, there was some confusion about what was going on here, and Bowman clarified this for us. So, because of the graphic from ESPN, it's kind of hard to get a pre-snap look at this from this perspective. I'm going to do my best here. So, Bowman notices that as Oklahoma's backfield is trying to get lined up, that number 2, your number 2 wide receiver here on the inside is uncovered. He doesn't have anybody there. Retzloff knows that and sees that, and Billy was showing blitz. He was showing a little bit of pressure pre-snap, and so Retzloff catches this ball and throws it. And Bowman clarified that, yes, I was supposed to blitz, but I saw 0 was out there unguarded, and so I just made the play, and when I looked, the ball was coming, and it just kind of hit me right in the hands, and he's off to the races here. So, right about the 30 or 40 yard line, you see the effects of the lower oxygen levels up in Provo, which I can speak to. My calves 3 days later here still sore after just climbing stadium steps. So for Bowman to be able to take that back 100 yards and get it in the end zone, certainly, as if there were any question, a much better athlete than I am. Oh. I'll let you, if you're a lip reader.
We did get an F-bomb.
Yeah. If you're a lip reader, you're pretty sure what happened there. So, big play from Oklahoma, takes a 24-17 lead. Here we go. Now we get a look at it.
Yes. This is the good stuff.
All right. So McCullough is inside. Retzloff, look, eyes are already over here. He sees what's coming. Billy kind of looks like he's coming. And so it's an easy read for Retzloff, or so he thinks. And Billy, at the last second, changes his mind, and it ends up, I mean, really changing the game. This is 100% a play that it's a 14-point swing.
Well, and even so, a great play by Billy Bowman, but there was also an element of luck to it because that was just a little button hook right at the goal line. If that receiver is on a slant, for instance, Bowman's momentum is taking him the wrong way, and it's easy pickings for a touchdown.
Correct.
Oh,
all
boy.
right, so
another big hole.
Here we go. Another. Oh boy, this is again. We've got split zone here. Everybody runs it, and 83 is gonna. I guess you call it block it. I mean, to me, it's again. He's got his jersey all the way across here, but he tackles 80. But we're not here to judge officials. We're just showing what happened. A lot of room for 3 to work yet again. Watching this back, this is the first time I'm watching this on a broadcast. Seeing it from field level is a little bit different. Some of these holes were absolutely massive. My goodness.
Don't love that.
Yeah, this is a textbook throwaway game for Oklahoma linebackers. That's tough. All right, two big plays back to back, give it up in the run game. Man, they're lucky he didn't take that one too.
That was about the point in the game. Well, maybe it was slightly before, but that third quarter is where those running lanes started to go from big to huge.
Correct. Good play here from Danny. I mean, really,
it was Isaiah Coe
and Dolby there, and Danny's able to clean it up there. But yes, 94. Man, talk about a guy that has just progressed over the years and become more and more a integral part of what Oklahoma does.
I tell you, man, and he didn't necessarily, walking away from that game, he didn't strike me as one of the standouts. But now that we're deep into this rewatch, Kendall Dolby really did play a great game on Saturday.
Yes.
And he has been quietly excellent for Oklahoma in 2023.
If Kendall Dolby hadn't been able to step into the role that was, a huge void left when you lose cheetah position. I'm drawing a blank now. Was supposed to start at the position this spring. Say again.
Oh, Justin Harrington is who you're thinking of.
Justin Harrington. When Justin Harrington went down, guys like Dolby and Peyton Bowen to be able to step in, that's been massive. And yes, Dolby has been an unsung hero for this defense this year. He flies around, man. He goes 100 miles an hour, and that's not something you can always coach. Look, again, 3rd and 7, big moment. Who's making the play? It's Billy Bowman once again.
Gosh, he's so good.
4th and 2 here, and I believe so we had a timeout here from BYU. They've got to make sure at this point in the game, they got to make sure they've got called up what they want, and so this one, this is a great route concept. So you've got number 3 on the inside. He's going to run. He's going to run an out, just a short, shallow out here. And you've got 1 comes inside and is going to run a vertical. So he is going to, his job, 1's job is to occupy occupy either your safety or your corner, whoever is going deep. You want him to occupy one of those guys, and then your out route is you're wanting to create a little bit of confusion, but draw somebody over, and then the late movement inside is what allows zero to come open. This is a really, really good concept for short yardage like this 4th and 2. This is a good call. I really like this. I like that concept.
It's clever. It's tough to defend, and it works to perfection right there.
Yeah, unless everybody knows exactly what's going on, which, in the heat of the moment is not very often. That's a play that's going to work for you 9 times out of 10. So good stuff from them, and it's pretty clear that Oklahoma knew in film that when the game is on the line and they need a receiver to make a play, number 2 has been that guy for them all season long. And when 3 guys from Oklahoma's defense are out there looking and chasing him, I would say it's pretty clear who they thought the ball was going to there. So good stuff from BYU. They get the ball downfield and working deep into Oklahoma territory, set themselves up 1st and goal. And this is, I believe, on the very next play here, I think Retzlaff is going to score on a keeper here. Just good. I mean, good physical running from them. 83 Rex kind of catches Key Lawrence, and again, they let a lot of things go in this game. That might have been something that's called in another game, but this was kind of a physical, more of a procedural calls game than it was anything holding like that. And so, that's just good. You got to tip your cap to 12 and move on. So you got a tie ball game now, 24-24, and lots of uneasy fans in Crimson and Cream at this point. Good play here from Farouk. We've seen him have a couple of opportunities. The one that kind of I beckon back to is his, unfortunately, ended in a fumble against Tulsa, but there have been some times when he's had some space to work with in the return game, and that's a guy that you definitely like out in space. So good stuff from him. They set him up 32-yard line. Good field position for the Sooners. Oh boy. That's what you like to see out of your running back. Look at Caden Green here. So you're gonna have a down block. He's gonna pull, and this is again clever. Like we've discussed in former videos, there's a lot of ways to show. To show things, and it still be executed under the same rules, if that makes sense. So this would be very similar to GT counter. The only difference is you're going to see your backside tackle stay, which is 75 on this play. So you're going to see Rouse stay, and Austin Stogner, who is in motion, is actually going to stop and serve as the tackle who's going to pull up. So you have Caden Green kicking, and 81 is it's called a swab block. You're going to go inside 70. You're going to go inside Green, and you're going to swab or clean up anything on the inside. And Stogner does a good job there sealing it off. He actually gets in the way of 2 guys. And so this is a kind of a tricky way of showing guys GT counter, and it works. It works really well. Credit to Stogner, and then obviously Sawchuk for getting out the gate there and ripping off a big play.
Yeah, you see Sawchuk in 5th gear there, and it's only for a brief moment in time, but you can see just how much ground he can cover when he's running full speed. And if you're a defensive back, how would you like to see all 320 pounds of Caden Green coming downhill at you? Jake Sexton does an awesome job on this play as well, helping seal that edge to give Sawchuk some room.
Yeah, excellent stuff from the offensive line. Good play there for everybody. Man, who is that? Okay, credit to 62. This is a grown man play, 62. So he's firing off. He sees the guard. The guard obviously is pulling away from him. And so his job in a play like this is to blow up the play before it even begins. And he does just that. Poor Jacob Sexton is the guy that gets knocked off there. But this is what Oklahoma was missing early in the season. They didn't have a healthy Gavin Sawchuk. They didn't have a healthy Javonte Barnes. So even though the play is blown up, which it is, make no mistake, Sawchuk is able to make something out of it because the other guys got their job done, and he has a physical downhill run and turns what really should have been a 2 or maybe 3 yard loss into a 10-yard gain. Or, sorry, 14 yards. He just adds a little bit more on top of that. So those are the things in the run game when you're wondering why in the heck are things not working. You know, this team was supposed to be able to run the ball effectively. This is the kind of thing that you need when you have a playmaker that can make cuts like Sawchuk does here. Right there, that lateral cut is what makes this work, and that's just something he didn't have in his toolbox earlier in the year, and it's clearly back. So really promising from him. Third straight game over 100 yards from Sawchuk.
Running decisively. You like to see that from a back. Not just the ability to hit the hole with some desire like we talked about, not just the ability to flash that breakaway speed, but to run decisively the way that he does. One cut and boom, off to the races. Anybody gets in his way, he's physical enough that he can throw a stiff arm and or he can just run through a dude and fall forward for extra yards. That's what makes Gavin Sawchuk such a complete back. Yep, there you go. Another example right there. I mean, this right here, that's that should have been at best no gain, at worst loss of a yard. Gavin Sawchuk turned it into 2 yards. Again, little things, but that's what separates good running backs from great ones. And I truly do think the Sooners have a great running back on their hands in Gavin Sawchuk.
Could not agree more. All right, 2nd and 8. Sooners drive in here. Good ball. I mean, just good ball. This is one of those situations where you've got 2 guys with an opportunity to make a play on it, and Zero is able to do just enough. Can't really tell bang bang play if it's a bit early or not, but it's just you've got to, again, those are plays that are 50-50, and more often than not you want to come up with those, and to this point in the year, 4 has definitely come up with more of those than he's not. So what do we got here? False start on 75. Backs you up into 3rd and 13.
This might have been Jackson Arnold's best throw of the day. And you and I were standing right next to each other, Bryan, and we remarked on it in the moment. But the 3rd and 7 throw that we'll see later, that was the most crucial throw of the day, no doubt. But in terms of sheer degree of difficulty, as far as timing, placement of the ball, all that, it does not get much better than this from a true freshman.
Correct. And if you look, this is from hash to hash, and so that's you're talking about. This ball is not just long down the field, but it's also long laterally. From a perspective of what the guys that he's got to work with. He's got a lot of. There's only one place you can put this ball if you're going to 3, and he finds a way to do it.
And he's fading to his left as he lets it go, too.
Correct. I do want to point out, and this is something I know 100% the coaching staff is going to see. Austin Stogner walks into the end zone on this play if he sees him. If you'll watch Stogner here, he's going to run a wheel off of this, and he is wide open. They'll see that, and that'll be something. Again, you've got a guy here who's making his first real impact on a game, and he'll see that. But again, that throw, like you said, that's a Sunday throw, and it's from a kid who is, correct me if I'm wrong, but 18 years old. Is that right?
18 years old. Talk about unafraid.
Yeah, no joke. Man, just puts the head down and is ready to make plays for his team. That's what you want in a guy. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so set you up 2nd and 8. Again, this is kind of one of those plays where you can kind of see that the 29 maybe isn't himself. Just a little hobbled. There's not. You're also dealing with some with a bad surface here. That's a play that there's really a good push up front. Oklahoma's offensive line is gaining ground in symmetry there, but 29 is not able to do much of it. So moves you into 3rd and 7. Blue man group makes an appearance. There's a lot going on in that play here.
Yeah, kind of chaotic.
Yep. Clearly was going to Farouk there, but I think this is this is just kind of one of those
There's
plays.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah, BYU just did a good job of creating some chaos on that one. So, set you up on a very, very makeable.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, let's watch this unfold. Oh, hold on, real quick. Making this is what we do up here.
There we go, baby.
And he pulls it. I'm not on the screen whenever this doesn't go through. Neither is Parker, but I can tell you that my jaw was on the floor, and I believe Parker was shaking his head at some point. It's just that's not something. I think, as you pointed out in the post game podcast, that is not a field goal that you can miss. That's the shortest attempt missed by an Oklahoma player since Michael Honeycutt, you said?
2014.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years since an Oklahoma kicker missed from that short of a distance. Again, can't happen.
Thank goodness for Danny Stutzman. All right. You've got...
Is this it right here?
I believe so. 3rd and 5. I believe this is it. Nope, it's not. We've got... That's right, because they set them up. They set them up here. Here it is. Never mind. It is on this drive. I just thought it was. I thought it was just a couple of plays afterwards.
Dang, I thought it happened faster than this.
I did too. Here, this is
it. Here you can see it.
100%.
They're coming with the heat. Oh boy.
That is a guy that is the only reason he is able to walk right now and run around is to a miracle of modern medicine. The fact that he's able to IV the fluids and things that he needs because he can't keep anything down. And he's out there making plays for his team, and then the passion afterwards.
Oh, that is just vintage Danny Stutzman.
Yes.
Right there. Because BYU had things moving a little bit. They were on the verge of poking their way into Oklahoma territory. They needed a big play defensively, and who would come up with it but Danny Stutzman? Man, he and Billy Bowman, and it's really not close. Those have been Oklahoma's 2 most impactful defenders all season, and when the Sooners needed a couple of big plays to turn the tide against an upset-minded foe on the road, it's Billy Bowman in the 3rd quarter, and it's Danny Stutzman in the 4th.
Yep. Excellent stuff from both of those guys in this game. Those are plays too, where it's not just what they provide you athletically. Those are just heads up plays and effort plays. It's all about effort at this point in the game, especially whenever it's tough, and good stuff from 28 there. All right, 10 again, making plays in the running game.
He wants the smoke, baby.
He does. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to stick his head in there and get after it. Here's the game winner. This will be one of the last plays that we're going to watch here. Man. Again, absolute grown man run. I said it in the moment and I'll say it again. That's just want to. That's having the desire to get in the end zone, and that's a guy that's going to be making plays at the next level as well. I mean,
that is a guy right there, folks, that if he is at full health all year next year, will contend for the Doak Walker. And you are already seeing just how good he can be with now 3 straight games of at least 100 yards rushing. And in this game, he only carried the ball 14 times.
Incredible. Really good stuff from 27 there. All right, let's run through some of these final plays. There's not a point scored from this point on, but I didn't get to see this. You don't get to see these things from the sidelines sometimes. I didn't even realize that this play had happened. Oh my. Oh, what a mess.
It was blown dead.
And poor PJ. PJ's thinking he's got a clear shot at the quarterback here. Scares him so bad he drops the football a second time. But it gets blown dead. I bet 12's happy about that. Yeah, and Oklahoma at this point, the confidence is kind of back. You can see it in the body language, and Oklahoma knows that they've gotten BYU rattled. The thing that I want to point out here is this is something that Oklahoma earlier in the year. I just want to point out the timestamp whenever Oklahoma starts this drive. There is, so technically speaking, there was 5:08 left on the clock when Oklahoma got the ball back here. Earlier in the year, Oklahoma wasn't built. They didn't have the ability to be able to put a game away with this much time left on the clock. But on Saturday, with the running game, even with Dylan Gabriel out, Oklahoma finds a way to not give the ball back to BYU with 5 minutes left. And BYU's got 2 of their timeouts left still. So, oh boy. This is one excellent route here from 4. Watch him. He breaks down. He breaks down 0 and has an opportunity. Jackson will want that one back. But
let me ask you, Bryan. If they're not playing 4,200 feet in the air, you think they hit on that one?
Yes, I think it does make it. I think it makes a difference. Absolutely. Yep.
Gosh, yeah. I mean,
well, and
he doesn't overthrow him by much either.
No, and the ball kind of seems to the look at the loft on the football. You can kind of tell it is a little bit. It's a little lighter than it typically would be. You can tell Jackson's kind of like, what the heck? So, yeah, I don't think we've seen him make that throw. We saw him make that throw against Tulsa earlier in the year. So, I think he'll be all right on that. He wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, you saw his reaction.
But yeah, Oklahoma they hold the ball for 5 minutes here. Again, credit to the offensive line and credit to the running back being able to move the ball down the field here and keep the ball, play keep away, and effectively put this game away. So, let's get to. I want to see this 3rd and 7 throw from Jackson, just because I have got to ask you. I want to ask you this question: Is this a check? Is this a check made out of a run play? Is there a run play dialed up here on 3rd and 7?
Let's see.
So he gets the check in here.
Yeah.
That is either way. for an 18-year-old kid in a 2-minute situation on the road in what you and I can both attest, a very loud environment, for him to have the wherewithal and the poise to make that check, that throw in that position on 3rd and 7, that's big time.
Well, and it's clear. It became clear in this football game based on how many times he went to him, but it's clear, especially on this play, who Jackson Arnold has the most trust in, and that's Jalil Farouk. And Farouk took a shot, but got enough to move the chains, and this is what iced the game for Oklahoma. But can't say enough about that call from Jackson Arnold. Not just the fact that he called it, because, okay, is it the right check in that situation? Sure, you get one-on-one. But the confidence to be able to pivot to that check and stand in there and deliver the throw to win a football game. That's, again, want to talk about freshman moments? Arnold had some in this game, but that was far from a true freshman moment.
Absolutely. And Farouk was after the game in the locker room, he was dancing and having a good time. So he was okay. This wasn't a situation where it wasn't as scary as it looked there for Farouk. I was truly worried about him when they were walking him off the field, but it does appear he's going to be all right. So that's gonna wrap it up here. I think we've kind of covered pretty much everything. Oklahoma knees this down a couple of times and ends up walking away with a win. So good stuff from the Sooners there. Parker, thank you for hanging out with me here. Hour and a half, not a short video, but obviously being able to go back and watch this and catch up on some of the nuances that you don't get to see in game is always valuable. So thank you for joining me, and we'll do this again soon.
The pleasure was all mine, my friend. Awesome stuff.
All right. Make sure you're checking us out over at ouinsider.com. We've got a lot of stuff over there on recruiting. Obviously, Brandon and Parker do a great job on all that stuff. We've got basketball. If you're a basketball fan, you need to get familiar with Brody Lusk, who is helping us out. He has done a fantastic job covering basketball for us to this point in the season. And then obviously Jesse and I, we've got you covered on all the stuff, team info that you need. We've got you covered over at ouinsider.com. That's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you again, and we will catch you next time.